Good afternoon, I'm Andrea Salve, and today on Newsfeed Weekend. The Quezon City local government announced the suspension of classes both in public and private for all levels, as well as the implementation of a liquor ban as part of the fourth State of the Nation address of President Ferdinand Bongbong Marcos on Monday, July 28, 2025. Mayor Joy Belmonte said this is also due to the expected road closures for the SONA, which is set to be delivered at the Batasang Pambansa. Likewise, the city government also implemented a liquor ban which would take effect from 12:01 a.m. until 6 p.m. The Department of Health is bracing for a surge in leptospirosis cases in the next 1 to 2 weeks following the recent floods. Health Secretary Ted Herbosa assured the public that medicine stocks are sufficient and medical services are continuous in flood-affected areas. This is in line with President Ferdinand Bongbong Marcos Jr.'s directive to proactively address rain and flood-related illnesses. Several hospitals are already reporting patients exposed to flood waters, with 3 leptospirosis admissions at DOH Tondo Medical Center. The DOH emphasizes that anyone who wades in flood waters should immediately consult at the nearest health center for free medication and to prevent complications. Meanwhile, Senator Kiko Pangilinan is fuming over the prosecutors who sought for a reconsideration with regards to ML party list Laila de Lima's acquittal. The senator said that they should be held liable for their actions. Hanati filed the story.
Charged the prosecutors who tried to reverse Laila de Lima's acquittal. That's the strong message from Senator Kiko Pangilinan to the Department of Justice, as he called for criminal and administrative cases against members of the prosecution panel who filed a motion for reconsideration on de Lima's final drug case. De Lima was earlier acquitted by a court. She was implicated in a drug trading case inside the New Bilibid prison. But the prosecutors asked the court to reverse that acquittal. Pangilinan calls it a blatant abuse of the justice system, even if the motion has already been withdrawn after the intervention of Justice Secretary Boying Remulla. The senator insists the panel must be held accountable. He said that the prosecutors may be liable for malicious prosecution and could face disbarment for gross ignorance of the law and unethical conduct under the Code of Professional Responsibility and Accountability. Pangilinan, who's a former judicial and bar council member, also wants the JBC to disqualify these prosecutors from ever joining the judiciary unless they properly justify why they filed what he describes as an anomalous and questionable motion. The senator is further pushing for the Anti-Money Laundering Council to probe the bank accounts of the panel for possible bribery. He warned that this is not only harassment against someone cleared by the courts, but a misuse of the prosecutor's power that undermines the independence of the judiciary. The motion was filed on July 14 by a 10-member DOJ panel led by Provincial Prosecutor Ramoncito Bienvenido Ocampo Jr. It was officially withdrawn on July 24 upon the orders of Prosecutor General Richard Fadulion. Other members of the panel include city and deputy city prosecutors from different areas, including known names in previous drug cases. De Lima, who spent 7 years in jail before being fully acquitted in 2023, is now a partyless representative under Mamamayang Liberal. The DOJ has not yet issued a statement on whether it will pursue an internal review or sanctions against the panel. But for Pangilinan, the justice system must protect the innocent, not those who abuse their power. Hannah Tia, Billionario News Channel.
The Civil Aviation Authority of the Philippines, or CAAP, reports 2 flight disruptions today, July 26, due to typhoons Dante and Emong. Among those affected are Philippine Airlines flights PR2932 and PR2933 Manila-Basco, Manila. Additionally, the San Fernando Airport is closed due to typhoon damage at its control tower. The CAAP is monitoring the situation and will issue further updates. The National Grid Corporation of the Philippines reports that Typhoon Emong has knocked out several transmission lines affecting power supply. Specifically, the Bawang-San Fernando 115 kilovolts line and the Bacnotan-Bulala 69 kilovolts line in Luzon are currently unavailable. This impacts customers served by the La Union Electric Company Incorporated. NGCP has already deployed linemen to assess the damage and is working to restore power to the affected areas. Pop megastar Taylor Swift is getting 13 wax figures at Madame Tussauds branches worldwide, one for each of her lucky number 13. The statues are inspired by her record-breaking Eras store and will be placed in 13 of the museum's 22 locations, including London, New York, Los Angeles, and Sydney. More than 40 artists worked over a year on the project, described as the most ambitious in Madame Tussauds' 250-year history. Swift's Eras tour made history as the highest-grossing tour ever, earning over $2 billion across 149 shows. And those are the news this hour. I'm Andrea Salve. Stay tuned for the latest updates with George Cahiles and Ann Asis Carrillo on the Agenda Weekend later at 6 o'clock, only here at the Billionaire News channel. Good afternoon.